What's up, Nappy fan? Nappy Head Millie back. Like, share, subscribe. Get this video to 5. I said I would talk about GhostBlade. Y'all got that last video numbers up. Even though the views wasn't there, it is what it is. People like the video, so we gonna talk about GhostBlade. Listen, follow twitch.tv/nappyheadmillie2. I might be streaming if you watch this video early. However, I want to talk about GhostBlade. I want to talk about why he's one of the harder characters to play in this game. It's a mixed bag, and I got this matchup on the screen specifically to show y'all what a bad matchup looks like for this character, because he has some bad matchups. It's just there, right? But I want to talk about GhostBlade as a whole and explain my feelings towards the character, why I like him, why I dislike him, why I feel like if you play him to the best of his abilities, he could take you far, but at some point you may need to invest into a secondary. But other than that, let's talk about it. Now, with this character, right, GhostBlade, he has what I like to call everything but nothing. He has every tool you need to be a top tier character in the game. However, he has nothing to help him on the defensive side. What do I mean by that, right? The character has every tool offensively just to be a beast. He has ghosts that can lead up to set play game style. He has some of the best normals in the game. He has range on his normals, which is really good in this game, having good range on your normals. He has damage output out this world. When he gets to awakening, his damage goes up even higher, so he can kill way faster. He has everything. He has teleport, so the teleport can mix you up in certain situations depending on how you play with the ghost. He has so many different options offensively that he's a powerhouse offensively. Defensively, however, he has the tool to be great, but it's not there. It's nothing for it. And that's his teleport. It's the worst reversal in the game. Now, it's weird because defensively, you have to play this character, and this is where it makes him hard. To play this character, your defense has to be on point. You cannot be a person that lacks on defense and think you can DP or teleport out. You have to be very good defensively. You cannot be a person that let up on defense. You have to be able to read and react. If you cannot do that with this character, do not pick up this character. Do not pick up this character. That's the sole thing that makes this character hard to play. Is if you're not a defensive player, you can't play him. Now, with that being said, us getting the basically overall just knocked out with the character, let's talk about styles. Now, GhostBlade has two distinct styles that I like. He has straight up footsies, like he was straight up play you footsie, play to whip punish you, play for you to make mistakes, and then he takes advantage because with his 5M, he's really good at hit confirming into a combo. Really good at hit confirming into a combo. And then he has this other style, which I like using this style against more aggressive players like Striker, Swiftmaster, characters like that, which is GhostBlade. Yes, GhostBlade. Just as his name implies, you're going to be using the ghost a lot. Now, with Striker, it's a little bit iffy. Striker, you got to play both. It has to be a balance. But that style, you're using the ghost for setup, straight up setup. You're trying to set up everything with that ghost. You're trying to force situations to where your opponent wants to press, or you can get them in a throw loop because the ghost just covers your options. So you can get them in a throw loop, have the ghost hit them, and then just perform a shit ton of damage, go right back in the setup. I think these two styles complement GhostBlade very well for what his kit gives. Because with his set play, which is the GhostBlade style, his set play style, it's you can literally get to points to where you start setting the ghost up and teleporting behind them, expecting them to press a button and then blocking immediately, because you do have pretty good recovery on your teleport, and they get smacked by the ghost for trying to press, thinking you're gonna try to mix them up. It's actually really fun. It's something I need to use more, but it's actually really fun. And then again, this character hits like a truck. So when we look at his straight up footsies fundamental style of gameplay, it's really good against people that are super impatient because of the range on all his normals. You'll find yourself a lot of times people will run up and then you'll just 2M or 2A or just 5C and just smack the mess out of them because they're running up pressing buttons a lot of time, because GhostBlade can make you play impatient, believe it or not. He's actually really good at making you play impatient if you know how to work with them. Defensively, what does this character have? See, his teleport is like, it starts like on frame 4 to 5, right? So, using his teleport, you have to be very careful. He has one of the worst rolls in the game, by far. I think he has the worst roll in the game. This is my opinion. So by far, you have to be very careful defensively with this character of getting out of situations. A lot of stuff that you do is a read. Like, you have to read. There's really no reaction sometimes with this character. Not to say you can't make reactive movements with stuff like 2A being as fast as normal. But a lot of situations, you have to read that your opponent is about to do something before you try to teleport out. Prime example, with Striker has dive kick. She dive kicks you once and goes to dive kick again. You can't teleport. You're going to get clipped before the startup. So, something that you may want to invest in is, if you know the second dive kick is coming, jump out. Try to jump out. Depending on the space, and try to jump out. If you try to roll out, you're going to get clipped. Another thing I've learned is to watch for her little stagger she does. She does a stagger where she'll medium punch you light to bait you to swing, and then she'll slide. Or she'll do shoulder charge. If she does that, that is your chance to get out. That is your chance to get out as a GhostBlade. With GhostBlade, defensively, this is where a person I'll recommend is Majin Bob, who's a way better GhostBlade player than me, said it best. With GhostBlade, you have to lab way more than other people do in certain matchups. Certain matchups can learn the basics and be fine. GhostBlade, you do not have that privilege. You don't have that privilege, especially defensively. You don't have that privilege to just lab the basics, know what they can do basically, and then play around that. You have to learn, you have to go so in depth with certain characters to beat certain characters. Matchup spread. Now, what do I think of his matchup spread? I'll put it on the screen. I am mixed. I really think he has some like 5-5 matchups. I really think his matchup spread is very even across the board. I do think he has some winning matchups. However, his losing matchups are losing. He just loses. It's very hard. You have to play damn near excellent to win these matchups. Mainly Striker. Striker is by far, it's probably the worst matchup in the game, honestly. So you have to play very, very, very good in this matchup. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. There is no shortcuts. There is no playing around. You have to play at 100% to win this matchup, because even in the lower tiers, even in Diamond, even in Gold, I start from Gold because that's where most people are going to reside. Between Gold, Diamond, Terra Knight, and especially a Legend Deity, they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to take advantage of any mistake you make, and then you have to play defense. And I'm harping on defense because that is solely his one weakness, is his defense, right? But other matchups, I think he does very well versus any type of zoner. I think he has the tools to really get in on a zoner, and 5M kind of just shuts them down once he gets into his mid-range. He's very good at shutting people down very easily. Lost Warrior, I don't feel is a hard matchup at all. Like, at all. Just hold the guard button. And then everybody else is kind of mid. That's really it. The character matchup spread, in my opinion, a lot of people might not like that he goes even a lot with a lot of characters, but hey, it is what it is. And now for the grand finale, what makes me play GhostBlade and why I think he's hard. What makes me play GhostBlade is a representation of being very mid, right? He goes as far as the player can take him. And I love that about the character. I don't like having free routes. Even though I play Ram because I'm a loyalist to Ram, right? But I feel like Ram is very free. She allows for a lot of stuff to play if we're just using Guilty Gear Strive. That's why I also say I main Testament, because Testament is where I'll look at GhostBlade. Either you could be a very good GhostBlade, or you could be a very shit GhostBlade. And it all comes down to how much work are you willing to put into said character. There are characters in this game that you can be trash and get away with it. Hitman. You could be a very bad fighting game player, but the character allows for you to win. GhostBlade, you don't have that. You don't have the freedom to be bad on GhostBlade. You don't have the freedom to slack off on GhostBlade. Every matchup you play, be it your winning or losing matchup, you need to know more knowledge than even the person playing it. You got to go kind of out your way to lab every situation that could happen to you, and even some situations that they might not know could happen to you, because that's the only way you're going to figure out how to get out of said situation as GhostBlade. Again, and I'll harp on it more and more. What makes this character hard is you have to have the ability to play very good defense when things do not go right. You have to. There is no way around it. You can't just teleport out. The teleport is vulnerable till frame 40. So you can't teleport out of every situation. So you have to be very reactive and make some very good reads to sit down with GhostBlade and get him started. However, once that happens and once GhostBlade gets to flowing, I don't think you guys understand what a good GhostBlade round feels like. When it gets to flowing and it gets to hitting and your shit is just working, it feels so good to play this character. It feels so good to get that ghost set up just working properly. It feels so good to have to adjust the combo and being able to adjust the combo mid combo because, oh, I don't have mana, let me switch it up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this character has so much potential, but it's based off of the player. And that's what I like about my fighting game characters that I choose, when I get to use my skill expression, when I have to figure out everything on the fly. It's kind of why I like fighting games, but especially characters like this where you don't have a direct answer sometimes. Sometimes you got to figure it out. Sometimes you got to adjust accordingly, and you got to take what your opponent is giving you and figure out how to win. And that's why I play GhostBlade, because that is the character that he is. You don't get freebies. You got to take what your opponent gives you and you got to twist it to your gameplay, and you got to adjust to make it work for you. But that's the end of the video. Hopefully I got my point across. Other than that, like, share, subscribe, twitch.tv/anappy313, and I'm out. Peace.